The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como yé. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, everybody ought to know it by now. I happen to be a member of the Catholic Christian community. My spiritual advisor, praise the Lord, Bradley Roll, is here. Bradley, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Senator.
This is powerful.
Excuse me, past Senator. I'm doing just well.
This is powerful with your F&M self. Well, you must have heard by now that the F&M held a march on Sunday. And prior to the march, they had a church service. And the leader of the party and the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis, apparently was moved by the Spirit. And he declared to F&Ms, and I'm going on second-hand information because my spiritual advisor, who ought to have attended the service, I don't know what happened. He didn't show up. But I'm learning that Dr. Minnis has taken, along with the F&M, credit for the airways being open. And he declared, Monker could be on the airways and talk. Isn't that powerful? What a price for freedom. What a price for democracy. Today, however, I shall be looking at Gowan's Bow statement in the Tribune and how he talks about how the F&M is just getting rid of people. And then I'm going to call for new legislation to protect the working people, particularly after the government has declared them either unemployed, redundant, or what have you. So we're going to look at that. And I'm disturbed because in the Central District of New Providence, appeared before me a Negro mother who has declared that Anatole Rogers is ripping her off. And she's concerned over the fact that her Negro daughter has been a student at Anatole Rogers from the 7th grade, where she was forced to pay, which is contrary to law. And then the child migrated from the 7th grade to the 8th grade, and now in the 9th. And as she approaches the 9th, heading for the 10th, a school headed by an ex-deacon, Jeffrey Lloyd, has ordered the Negro mother to pay for her Negro child. And I think something is fundamentally wrong with that. We're going to look at that, and we're also going to look at the United Nations, their code on fighting corruption. And when I'm finished, I'm going to veil the F&M backside. And also, we're going to look at a new group that is marching on the 2nd of September. And they shall join us tomorrow. We rise! We rise, Bahamas. Where's that Negro Senator, Ronald Hanfield, with the terrible self? This is Freedom March. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here on ILTV in Nassau, Bahamas. You, by now, should have learned that the United States Embassy, Nassau branch, has issued a travel advisory in which they are warning the American tourists them that it is dangerous to do what, my spiritual advisor? To go to the ATM machine.
Oh, okay. The scam.
Where
Okay.
the people them are able to do what?
I saw, Mr. Monka, on the American news where they have some people who are able to place a scanner over this same entry of the machine that you put your card into. It's a green light that flashes on it.
Yes.
And there's a duplicate that they have that they can actually place over that. And when you put your card in, for some strange reason, I guess it reads the card. It can take information from your card, and they can access your accounts. They're able to charge items, I guess, on the card, from what I understand,
Okay.
to be reported by the American news.
Well, that is indeed very interesting.
Interesting to say the least.
Yes,
Very
and I don't
interesting.
blame the Americans them for warning the American tourists them. But I also would like to issue a travel advisory to the United States. You, by now, would recall that Americans them have been marching and demonstrating. I'm not sure what they're doing it about, but I know that while they were marching and demonstrating, a white man jumped in a car and speed through a crowd of white people, killing one. So I want to warn you Negroes that when you see the white American jumping in a car and speeding through white people and killing them, you all Bahamians, if you're going to America, stay far from marches and demonstrations. Or be wise like me. Stay home. I stay in Nassau. Because every time I think about America, I think about a nut with a big long gun showing up at the mall and just shooting indiscriminately. And since I don't know America, I wouldn't know where to run, or hide, or duck, or dodge. So it is my suggestion that if you don't have to go to Miami or to any of them other places in the United States, you should do what I do. I go home. I go to Abaco. I go to Grand Bahama. I might go down to Exuma or one of them other family islands. I try to play it safe because America, all of a sudden, it is the greatest democracy. There is no place on the face of God's earth whose democracy is as solid, whose freedom is as stiff as the United States. But they're growing terrorists now. And the white terrorists, see, I don't expect the white people them to be terrorists. And now it's turning out that the white people them in America, they're the terrorists now, homegrown. So the best place to fight terrorism is to stay in the Bahamas. So that is my travel advisory. Listen, they're jumping in car and knocking down white people. I can't understand why they would jump in the car and just knock down white people. All right? So you better stay home. That is a travel advisory from the Justice of the Peace, Rodney Monker, on Freedom.
I don't know if you could do that, though,
What you
Mr.
mean
Monka.
I can't do it? I just did it.
Well,
Are you saying to me
you have to get authorization from the government, man.
to do what? To tell
you can't.
Bahamians that when white man jump in the car.
I don't know if America like that, you know.
But
Don't forget now, the Bahamas feeds the economy in Florida, you know. I mean, we have a lot of
I
Bahamians
want the Americans
go
to stop the home-growing terrorists. Terrorists ain't supposed to be American. What you
Yes, I
laughing
mean,
about?
I understand your point,
The
right?
terrorist's supposed to be somebody else.
I just don't want you to get in trouble, man. You can't
I
be
can't get in trouble.
You
I
can't be
break no
issuing no
law.
advisory like that.
I've just done so.
Wow.
Listen, I've issued.
Bahamians love Florida,
I
right?
didn't say not to love Florida. I say if you're going there, they're knocking down white people.
All right.
And when white
Well,
people.
so we won't have the problem. They're not knocking down black people.
But if you knock down white people, and you can see them, God help you if you're black. All right? It's my travel advisory. The Americans do one, and I did one. And every Bahamian has a right to a travel advisory.
Yeah, be careful of that, though.
My spiritual
The Americans
advisors,
may not like that well.
listen
Listen,
to me.
your show is listened to by a lot of people, you know.
Listen, you listen to me, eh? There is a price for democracy.
Well,
There's
of
a
course,
price
yes.
for freedom of speech. All right? So I have to let them know, particularly the County Joe people. You're all white. They're knocking down white people. You see? And I don't want my County Joe people
The Abaconians?
or the Lutherans
Okay. All right.
to be knocked down. So I just thought I'll let y'all know that. How to sound my spiritual
Well,
advisor.
you're on your own with that one.
Listen, cowards do not go to heaven.
You're on your own with that one.
What sin have I committed?
I don't know if you have the authority to issue any advisory, Mr.
But I
Malcolm.
do have the authority. If I'm aware that some white
Leave that to
people-
the Bahamas government,
You
man.
hold on a second. Don't forget now. Hanfield, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he's green. He's green. He wouldn't know to do that. Plus, Hanfield is a former Defense Force officer. All right? Hanfield ain't free. See,
Isn't he
I'm
an
free.
attorney as well?
Yeah, he's an attorney.
Right, right.
But he's not free. You don't
Yeah.
want me to bring
I
up all
heard
story.
you. Listen, I heard you mention that yesterday about
You
him.
don't- you want me to bring up
don't
all
do that,
story?
Don't do that to him. You know, he's a man
Do you
with a
want me
family.
to bring up all story?
Yeah,
Be careful of me.
that's before or after the election.
Be careful. Because I could bring up all story.
Yeah, don't do that though. Don't
I
do
saw
that to him.
Hanfield.
Don't disrespect the man
I'm not
like that.
disrespecting him.
What do you mean by he's not a man and he's not free?
I didn't say he's not a
You
man.
say he's not free. What do you mean by that?
He's not free.
So who have in Chicago?
I don't know. But I can tell you one
Hey,
thing.
Mr. Monkey, you something else, you know. You know that?
My spiritual advisor. I am 60.
All right.
How old is Hanfield?
He may be, I think he's in his 40s, 30s or 40s.
Okay. Well, I don't know how old he is. All I know is
I
he's
think
not
it's
60.
30s or 40s, yeah.
And I saw him on duty. Watch out for me, eh? I saw him on duty, and I said, wow, there he is on duty. Now, you don't want me to bring up old story, right?
Leave that alone.
Would you like to make
No,
an old
no,
story? All I
no.
got is old story.
Leave that alone.
But it's a good old story. Don't forget, when the United States government, embassy, told Defense Force officer they will no longer be allowed to nanny in the ambassador's residence. Who you think the Defense Force complained to?
The Defense Force officers were told that?
Where you living? They came to me and they said, Monica, before the black woman took over the embassy, we, the Negro Defense Force officers, were allowed to nanny
What?
inside. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay, okay.
I'm not making up a lie.
Okay.
They speak to me.
Just say use the restroom.
They said nanny. And they said when the white people was in charge of the embassy, they could nanny inside there. And when the black woman took it over, they were no longer allowed to nanny there. So I said, where y'all is nanny? They said, they're building some toilets, but meanwhile, we're relieving ourselves in the bush.
Oh, wow.
heard me?
That's inhumane.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you should.
All right?
Yeah, okay. All right.
And no media would carry it. So there was a white woman working for Charles Carter, and she was an American. So I went to see her. I said, now listen, you are an American, but I have something, because I want to case them out. And I want you to show me that you will allow me to express myself. And she did. And then I issued a statement, right? And I accused the Americans of not allowing the Defense Force to nanny in the place. And then the Americans called me. I don't know how they got my number. But the next thing I know,
Oh, Lord.
I heard
This is
a
so
call.
hilarious.
You call it hilarious. It may sound so, but I'm telling you a true story. So I hear the phone ringing, And I pick it up. I said, hello. And they said, the United States Embassy. And I said, because the Americans have the technology to blow this up. And I had this here. So I hold it there, and I said, how may I help you? And they said, you know what you said and put on Facebook? These are the facts, and we want you to correct it. And so I said to them, you don't got to worry about it. Just promise me y'all ain't going to do me nothing. Okay? It's a true story.
Okay.
So, having
Okay.
given you the story,
Okay.
be careful of me. All right? Because the people talk to me. You may not believe that.
Well, that's fine.
The people talk to me.
I'm sure they do.
They complain to me. They tell me things. Right? It's like how one of the Church of God of Prophecy is attempting to raise the $447,000. And I said, God is good.
What are your sources, man?
How you mean, what is my sources? My sources come from of high. Because the PLP, I understood,
That's interesting if that is true.
offered a similar thing. Go find the money. It is the same way that Fred Ramsey is in a similar position where the court has said, Brother Ramsey, go, get the money. We want you to pay it to BTC, BEC. What the people them name? Where they fired a woman?
BBL.
BPL, right? His Lordship, Justice Bernard Turner, has said to Fred, go and find the money, right? Well, another F&M will be given an opportunity
Mr. Montgomery, don't forget now.
to go.
Don't forget. You know what's happening, right?
What's happening?
The case hasn't reached court yet, man. Be
I'm
careful.
not talking. Who court you talking about?
Okay.
I talking anything but court?
Okay.
I talking about any evidence? Huh? I'm not talking about no court. I'm not. I'm talking about.
You mean, go ahead. Go
There
ahead.
is nothing wrong, right?
I'm
if I-
I'm trying to protect you, you know.
From what?
Okay, well, go ahead.
Yea, though I walk,
Through the valley,
and
shadow of death,
I shall
you fear no evil, eh?
for,
The Lord is with you.
and
His rod and his staff, they comfort you.
hallelujah. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
So
All right.
I think it's a new development where the church could end up bailing you out. Because for me, all I want is what? The people, them money. That's all. And that's why I think that the F&M should help Fred Ramsey. He's an F&M. All right? I tired of too much fall people around here. You know, where they make the young a fall guy
Let me ask you a question.
and the old a fall guy.
Why don't you speak with Papa about that?
Listen,
I think Papa could authorize it.
be careful how you call Papa name. Okay? Be careful. Okay? Papa done do what he had to do. Papa told me to go out and let the nation know that Fred Ramsey is innocent. Okay? But you caused me to go off course.
Yeah,
Where was I?
that's right. Get yourself back together.
Where was I, my spiritual
You were
advisor?
talking about the advisory that the United States government
Yes.
issued on the Bahamas.
And the Americans are right. And so I want to publicly say to the bank them, bank, if anybody send you a text telling you, I say send them money, it ain't me. Because I don't send text to the bank. And if anybody show up with any credit card, it ain't me. I don't use credit card. Me and Allison may not have one of the biggest row. I said to her, I don't want no bank account. Y'all pay me in cash.
Yeah, but that's Stone Age, Mr. Monica.
That is not Stone Age.
We
What
live
the
in,
hell I
we
need
live in
bank
modern
for?
we live in modern technical times.
I don't
we
need no bank. All
pay
right?
cash.
So I just want you all to know that. Now, let's look at Govan Bow. Govan Bow is a descendant of one of the most powerful white man to come out of Exuma. The late Frederick, am I saying his name right? Frederick Nigel Bow?
The Bows are from Exuma, yes.
Yeah.
Georgetown,
Anyway,
eh?
I'll think about his grandfather or great-grandfather. But in any event, he has taken on a serious issue as he looks at analyzing the fact that the Free National Movement appears to be doing an inventory of what I call victimization, where you look to see who the PLP hired, when they hired them, and you fire them. And I am happy that Govan Bow is taking notice of it and pointing out the danger of it. And I want to invite members of the public to buy today's Tribune and to read the article, because I believe that something is wrong, that the government is allowed to terminate people without first finding a substitution, a job substitution. And what do I mean by that? Watch what the FNM has done. It has been elected the government on the 10th of May 2017. They have not been working for 6 months yet, and every Negro and his bullock has gone on vacation. It is a lazy government. If the average worker has to wait at least 12 months before they can have a vacation.
6 months. 6 months, I think you get a week.
But my spiritual advisor, what you said is?
6 months and you get 1 week.
So my spiritual advisor says 6 months. But the FNM has not worked 6 months yet. And everybody has taken a vacation. Ministers on vacation. K. Peter Turnquest, whose birthday is today. And when he's cutting that cake, God forgive me, may he miss, slip, and his head fall in the cake.
That's not nice, Mr.
That's not
Monica.
nice, Mr.
No,
Advisor.
come on, man.
God forgive
This
me
the
for
day,
saying
if
it.
this is his birthday, this is supposed to be a day he enjoys and enjoys cutting
He
his cake.
can't enjoy it
He's the
because
DPM, you know. Don't be like that, Mr.
he
Monica.
can't enjoy it because
that's not
he's
kind.
hiding from Aubrey Stubbs. Aubrey Stubbs is all over Grand Bahama looking for him. And Peter is ducking him. Peter got enough time to celebrate birthday. Big birthday party. Today's his birthday.
Yeah, I can't see him thinking the deputy prime minister would duck him. Man, I see him just with every morning.
Okay, well, since you see the deputy prime minister, tell him to call 441-7360.
He just got
Aubrey Stubbs
your message, eh?
is looking for you, Peter. I mean, my God, you're celebrating your birthday. You was born in the back of Acklands, all right? And you're celebrating your birthday. On your birthday, you shouldn't duck your constituents, all right? You shouldn't. How does it sound?
Excellent.
You're going to tell Peter?
I mean, you see him every morning. Every
I don't
morning you
see
see his
him.
car. And yeah, I'd be in a position where I see his car every
You see
morning.
his car?
Yeah, every morning.
Well,
yeah.
tell him. Tell Peter Turnquest, I want him to fax Aubrey Stubbs. His number is 441-7360. Aubrey, that's all I can do. They don't listen to me. And they're on vacation. Ain't wait for 6 months. Minutes nor Peter. And they're on a 10 weeks vacation. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Views and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. You can join us on ILTV Studios Facebook page, and we are sharing it on our Facebook page, Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll. Bradley, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
When we took the adjournment, I was wishing Peter Turnquest a happy birthday. And I was pointing out how he is hiding from Aubrey Stubbs. Aubrey Stubbs is a Negro male who has lots of problems. And if ever he needed two people he needs the Lord. And of course, he needs his political deliverer, K. Peter Turnquest. And I've been trying to help Aubrey because I had to listen for almost 20 minutes to all the problems he is experiencing in Grand Bahama. And so I've been searching. So Aubrey, I'm now able to identify geographically where you can find your member of parliament, K. Peter Turnquest. The deputy prime minister and the deputy leader, he lives in, what kind of place you call them when you build a big high-rise place and people could live in it? What you call it? What is the big
They're
word?
called high-rise condos.
High-rise. He lives in a high-rise condo.
Condo, yeah.
He lives in a high-rise condo on West Bay Street.
Don't compromise our
I'm not
DPM now.
compromising him because all he got is security. I'm not compromising,
don't do
but
that.
his constituent
Yes, he has an office.
needs to know.
He has an office.
I want you to stop it. All right?
Should know where to
So
contact
he
him.
lives at Bay Rock. Okay? That's West Bay Street. And guess what?
Where should get this info from?
How you mean how I get it? I'm an F&M. All I do is I go to the party and I say, listen, I'm looking for the deputy leader. Where's he hiding? Okay?
Do you think people want folk to come to their home where they go and get
Every
peace
person
and
who
quietness?
votes for me,
He has an office.
listen to me.
Go and see him at his office.
You stop it. Let me
No,
tell
that's the truth.
Let me tell this Negro man where to find his member of parliament. So he's on West Bay Street. There's this high-rise condo called Bay Rock. That's where he is. Okay? It's a beautiful, luxurious place. Not that I've been in it, but those F&Ms who've been nearby, they've told me. So listen, you have to leave Freeport and come there. Bay Rock. That's where you will find him. And listen, it costs about $1 million. Normally, when members of parliament are living in $1 million Bay Rock high-rise condominium,
Boy, you're something else.
they are not interested
All the madness is
seeing-
on the streets.
in seeing their constituents. Do you believe in accountability?
Of course.
Do you believe
That
in
has nothing to do.
transparency?
That has nothing to do
Don't
with
tell me
accountability
that
now.
because I have in my presence, I got these Negroes, you know. I have in my presence this. All right? What is this? Goodness of mercy. You have me go into this over and over. It's the UN Guide for Anti-Corruption Policies. All right? I have it. So, Aubrey Stubbs, for the last time, you can find the Deputy Prime Minister in Bay Rock. It's luxurious. About $1 million, I believe it's worth, or perhaps $1.5 million. And when you reflect on it, please do not forget, what time is it? Let me test my spiritual advisor.
It's the people's time.
What time is it?
It's the people's time.
Peter in Bay Rock. What time is it?
Oh, boy, you're something else.
It's the people's time.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm not jealous.
All of the people, too.
I'm not jealous
The
of it.
Bahamian people.
What time is it?
It's the Bahamian people's
Well,
time.
Aubrey Stubbs, I hope you get the message. It's the people's time. Bay Rock. Right there on West Bay Street, okay? All right. So, we finished with that. In the Tribune is an interesting article on page 3. And tomorrow, I'm going to have the leaders of this group, We Rise, here on Freedom March. And I'm going to read it. We Rise group to protest government's lack of progress. We Rise, a new group established to do something, has scheduled its first protest for Saturday, September the 2nd, aiming to highlight what it sees as the government's lack of progress in areas of national importance. Detractors have labeled the new group as nothing more than the Progressive Liberal Party attempt to rally its base in opposition to the government. While the PLP has not publicly endorsed the group, PLP Senator and former Foxhill Member of Parliament, Fred Mitchell, was pictured meeting with members of the group at PLP headquarters last week. However, in a statement released to the press on Monday, the group insisted it didn't belong to any political organization, but rather it is composed of Bahamians who simply want to ensure that our government acts in the interest of all Bahamians. The group appears to be trying to emulate Rematch Bahamas, another protest group that gained prominence after more than 1,000 protesters marched from Arawak Key to Rawson Square in November 2016 to demonstrate over the Christie's administration performance. The leader of that movement, Ronald Hanfield, parlayed his success with the organization into a Senate appointment by the Minnis administration earlier this year. As 100 days since this current administration assumed office has come and passed us by, we have yet to see progress or hear of concrete plans for the way forward as it relates to tackling unemployment and crime, which are rising steadily and threatening the way of life that we have come to enjoy. We rise, statement noted. Hence, we invite the government to sit and hear our concerns and to also act responsibly in the governance of our sovereign nation. We are inviting Bahamians who wish to see our country and people move forward, upward, onward, together, to join us Saturday, September 2nd, as we rise, take the streets across every island of the Bahamas and voices our collective concerns about the current state of our nation. We ask for the public to stay tuned for further details as we work effortlessly to organize this revolutionary event. We will rise and march against the injustices, against wrongful terminations, against violent crime, and for democracy, freedom, and the rights of every Bahamian. The statement concluded, we must all rise not only for ourselves, but for future what? Bear with me, the Tribune got this piece dirty. But for future, I can't make it out. The time is now to put on the full armor of God and get ready to protest peacefully. We Rise is being spearheaded by Alex Dossett. Am I saying it correctly? By Alex Dossett and Cordero Emmanuel Ambrista. And we here at Freedom March endorse We Rise. And if it is God's will, those two Negro gentlemen, that is Alex Dossett and Cordero Emmanuel Ambrista, will join me here on Wednesday on Freedom March. So, the clarion call is out, and Bahamians are getting together. Okay? Now, I can tell you something. You say, I supporting the PLP, but I'm an FNM. Say, I ain't got time to play game. I'm 60. I'm an FNM, but I'm supporting the PLP. And I want thousands of people to join the march. This morning, I got a surprise. When a lady contacted me, she said, Mr. Monker, I want to march. And I was so excited. I said, well, come and march. She said, but I have one problem. I said, what could that possibly be? She said, I'm blind. I said, are you able to walk? She said, I'm able to walk, but I'm blind. I said, just get somebody to bring you to the Great Camp meeting on the Sudden Recreation Ground, around about, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:15. And you will march with me. I'll hold your hands, we'll march, and when I get tired, I'll pass you to one of the man them or one of the women them. So no handicap is an excuse for this march. Come and let's march, because it's the people's time, and we're not being treated fairly. And we see where Governor Bowe is now forced to take a forensic look at how the F&M is terminating people. And so I want to propose something to the F&M. Okay? I think we need new law. We need the F&M to hurry up, come off that 10 weeks vacation, reconvene not only the House of Assembly, but the Senate simultaneously. And this is what I'd like for them to do. I want the F&M to declare unemployment illegal. I want an amendment to the Labor Act. No citizen, no healthy, mental, and physical citizen shall be unemployed. It's the first thing. I want unemployment to be against the law. If you are unemployed, I want CID to come and pick you up to find out why you ain't working. I think that would be revolutionary. In addition to that, I want an amendment to the law to say, right, that if the government should terminate a person, well, let me rephrase it. I want a law that says that the government shall not terminate any citizen unless it can find that citizen a substitute job. So let's say, for instance, Desmond Bannister, the Minister of Labor, he wants to get rid of about 20 people who the PLP hired. I want Parliament to tell him mandatorily that he shall not terminate them unless he finds them a substitute job. And I think that will be powerful, where the government can't suspend you, can't terminate you, can't declare your job redundant, my spiritual advisor,
Okay.
unless they can find another
substitute.
job.
Okay.
You follow my point? Because it
Interesting.
creates a lot of hardship for our people. And what time is it?
It's the people's time.
What are your views on that, my spiritual
Well, I mean,
advisor?
it's an excellent idea, and of course, you know, the more terminations, I understand there are quite a bit of them. It adds to the unemployment list, and so within the next 3 to 5 months, the unemployment percentage will go up. I think has it gone down to 11% now?
I don't
or is it
know.
9 point
Because they
something?
got one big row going on over it. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's an excellent idea.
You think it's an excellent
We have to keep
idea?
our people employed, Mr. Monka.
Right. So whenever the Bahamas government fire, terminate, suspend, what else? Lay off, make redundant, place on furlough, or scratch match in their face, that it cannot happen unless there's a substitute job. And since this is the people's time, I'm certain that the F&M will endorse this wonderful, wonderful idea. How does that sound, my spiritual advisor?
Excellent, excellent,
Great.
excellent.
So let's mark that off, and let's look at job creation. The business section of the Nassau Guardian is interesting today. And according to the business section, there is 2 photographs of 2 Negro males. One is a former F&M candidate who could not take the political pressure, and having put his hands to the plow, he turned back. That is Leonard Sands. The other Negro gentleman is Sabat's Bastian. As you know, Sabat's Bastian is the owner of this TV station. And so it's an interesting article. Numbers industry shouldering construction. Now, I have my heart leap for joy, because I do know that we need lots of construction workers. And one of the things that is not happening in the society is we are not training sufficient Bahamians to do construction work, to do masonry, to do carpentry and plumbing. I know that. And had it not been for my people, the Haitian people, you hardly be able to find Mason. That's a serious thing. So I have to let the Haitians know what this means. Tout le monde haïtien, bonjour. Est-ce que vous lisez Journal Gardien? Journal Gardien dit, Monsieur Bastien responsable pour 40% ak construction. And Nassau pas gain en pile anglais pour travailler dans construction. Même, m'a content pour nous. I had to tell my Haitian people that this is great news, that the numbers industry is shouldering the construction. And I know that we are not doing sufficient training in preparation and in anticipation of this construction work. The F&M, having come to power, an examination of the manifesto. It's a very small manifesto. It would appear, and I'm going to recite it again tonight because I want to be fair to the F&M. But it would appear that the F&M forgot out construction. They left out construction.
BTVI.
What they said with BTVI.
Well, BTVI is where you go to get training if you want to, get a trade as far as electrical, plumbing, masonry, carpentry, electronics. That's what BTVI does.
Well, let us see whether or not the F&M will support BTVI sufficiently. Because if Sabats is responsible for 40%, is Sabat doing low-cost home? Or is Sabat only doing high-cost home?
Sabas.
Because I would want Sabats to build some low-cost home so that my people, the Negro people,
Sabas.
will have. How old are you? How old are you?
Why you insist on calling this
I know his
distinguished
daddy.
gentleman Sabats?
I know his daddy.
His name is Sabas.
Want me to give you a secret about his daddy?
That has nothing to do with it.
One day,
Pronounce the man right
his daddy
name correctly.
sent for me. He said, listen, Sir Clement Maynard is in trouble.
Sabats.
You live in Black Village. Can you come and see me? And I went to see him, right? And he said, how can we save Sir Clement? His daddy was the branch chairman. I never told him that. I said, well, the people of Black Village ain't want much. So he wanted to know. And what I told him, I told Allison. And I told Sir Clement. He said, well, what y'all want? I say, you see where I live? I got to walk too far to the pump. So I need a pump. He said, that's all you want? I said, yeah, I don't want much. And then I look up and I recognize there was no light. 25 years ago, no light in Black Village. So I told him, tell Sir Clement, I want my own pump. I want a pump. Ripper, he needed a pump. Right? And the Tinkers and the Evans, they needed a pump on the back road. Sir Clement gave us a pump. And I said, I need light. So I don't tell Sabats that. I know his daddy.
Okay.
All right? Sabats. So Sabats is doing 40%. All right? What economic incentive is the government giving him to employ more construction workers? And I think it's powerful that Leonard Sands has identified the contribution of Sabats. But I want more construction work. And you would recall that last year, I think it was last year, I got Sabats to agree to pay all the construction workers good. And not a construction worker has complained to me. Now, construction workers, don't mind, I'm working for Sabats company. If you should have any problems, you call me. And I will deal with him here on his TV station. And then he can walk in and defend himself, like how he did it at the radio station. Okay?
It's a big difference, though.
Oh, you mean it's a big difference?
It's a big difference.
Sabats not a saved man.
It's a big difference.
How you mean it's a big difference? If he doesn't pay the workers, you think I'm going to keep quiet?
Yeah, well, don't
Huh?
forget now, rule number 1.
What's rule number 1?
The boss is always right.
Not if he is not paying other workers.
Rule number 2,
Go ahead.
if the boss is wrong, refer to rule number 1.
Who is the justice of the peace? You got to watch out for me, you know. I have the powers
It's a big difference.
to
You and I,
order the police to arrest people, you know. I ain't test that since F&M came to power. Okay? So, we now know that Sabas, according to the Negro gentleman, Leonard Sands, is responsible for 40% of the construction.
interesting.
And Sabas, I need you to build some low-cost home. Because many of our people, they need home. Okay? So you see. Any comment on that?
Let me ask a question.
Go ahead.
No, you know what? No. I was going to ask if you can get Crown land and do stuff like that with it.
Of course.
Okay.
You want me to name all the
Okay.
people
Okay.
that Algernon Allen gave the government land to the Bell House?
Okay. Well,
wanna hear it?
that's an incentive.
I'll give you one. When Algernon Allen and Papa were living like brothers, Algernon was responsible for what? Housing. Am I correct?
Okay.
Young man, am I correct? Right.
Housing.
Housing.
Okay.
And darlings, F&M's got upset when Algernon got a big map. See, I know everything.
Okay.
And they thought, they wasn't sure what Algernon was doing. And as he sliced Millennium Garden, he said, this piece over here is
Okay.
for Sir Franklin Wilson and F&M Case.
Okay.
All right? They said, well, what Algernon doing? Doesn't he recognize that Sir Franklin is a PLP? And they run on all kind of nonsense. And thank God, he gave Sir Franklin a portion of the land. And sweethearting in Millennium Garden has never been as good as it is. Okay? So, governments do it. All right? Governments do it.
Okay.
All right? And there's nothing immoral
That's a great incentive.
about it. All right? And perhaps it helped to keep the cost of housing down.
Down. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, is Sabat's building low-cost homes? I'd like to have him on the show so I can find out if he's building low-cost home, because what time is it?
It's the people's time, Mr.
What time
Monka.
is it?
It's the people's time.
And the people need low-cost house. I didn't know Sabat's was 40%.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge.
Wow. The numbers industry shouldering construction. It's powerful, eh?
Because the government, the last administration, did they build any low-cost homes?
Well, which last
The
administration?
PLP.
Well, it's the PLP who's built house.
But I don't think they built any homes the last 5 years they was in power.
sure?
Right? I don't think they
Well,
did.
I don't know, because
I don't think they did.
I was F&M.
I'm not
and
sure.
I don't know.
Did they?
I
Okay,
would
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I think you are right. The PLP love to build.
Did
Why
they-
you think the F&M lock up Kenred?
Where's
Dawson?
Pride of States?
Why you think Kenred? Kenred was Minister of Housing, you know.
Okay.
And Kenred built all kind of house.
Okay.
And so the F&M, having built the house, they're locking them up. And Kenred liked to build house. So he did build house. Okay? You have to give them credit.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
I don't want you to be like the...
Well, let's see if this administration would do likewise.
Well, you know, the F&M is cutting back by 10%. And there ever was a 12% reduction. So 10 and 12 is?
22.
So it's 22%. This is freedom math. Sabats is contributing to 40% of the construction. Boy, oh boy, isn't that powerful?
That is huge.
I just hope he built a low-cost house,
That is huge.
because we need some low-cost house. What you say?
Absolutely.
This is powerful.
Have to make these homes affordable for our people.
Yeah.
You know, interesting.
And we need more homes built throughout the Family Island.
All right.
But the homes must be hurricane-proof. That is what we need. Hurricane-proof. I remember the F&M built some homes, but I'm not going to mention this home. I just remember there is a conflict, but we need hurricane-proof, because this is August, and there are reports that there was about 3 kind of storm being spotted, eh? Have you done the research to let me know if there's any storm? Because if there's one, I want to send it to the southwestern part of the island. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and my spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll. At 60, I'm doubting. Can't remember sometimes if I have raised an issue. And of course, my spiritual advisor, let me have a bump.
Yeah, okay.
And so I'm not sure. So I'm going back to a point because I don't remember if I dealt with it. In 1962, the then United Bahamian Party passed into law an Education Act. That Education Act was perhaps one of the most revolutionary piece of legislation. In fact, there were certain political contradictions in it because the United Bahamian Party was the party of the Bay Street Boys, the Conky Joe people. But that Education Act, I have examined it. I've examined it, I think, perhaps for the first time in 86. And I'll give you a story. I went to the Ministry of Education to complain. I just had a litany of complaints. And there was a director of education, a man that I would want to refer to as an intellectual. And he listened to me as I cuss and I carry on. And then he turned to me. He said, I know what will help you. And I said, what? He said, the Education Act. And if my memory served me right, he gave me a copy of the Education Act. What was his name? Mark Wilson. He was the director of education. And when he retired from the civil service some years ago, he retired as the permanent secretary in the Ministry of National Security. And prior to going there in 1992, when Hubert Ingram and the FNM came to power, Algernon Allen, don't get mad. Papa wants me to curse you out in any way. Papa placed him in Algernon Allen's ministry. And Papa instructed him, according to legends, Papa instructed him to manage that minister who was responsible for social service and housing. And I don't think Algernon will say it publicly, but Mark Wilson was like a huge rock around his shoulders. So I say all of that to tell you that that is how I first came into contact with the Education Act. And I raised, because I emerged as the president of the then Mabel Walker PTA. And I used the Education Act to pressure the PLP into doing what Hubert Ingram did in 1992. The Education Act made provision for school committees. And I tried to get Pinlan and the PLP to do it. And there is a woman who I have reunited with who's a PLP stalwart. When I first told her that we are going to march to the House of Assembly to present a budget to Pinley, she panicked for a second, and I said, sister, look, you're a praying woman. Let's go. And she and I went to the House of Assembly and presented the budget. But greater than a budget was provision for school committee. And Ingram, having heard me and others raising the issue, when he came to power in 1992, shortly thereafter, he either had that particular legislation signed into law, or he did something creating it. And that is how we came about having the school boards election. Well, I say all that to say that when you examine the Education Act as written by the white UBP, it would have done tremendously good for our people, the Negro people. It provided for free education. It provided for books and other basic reading material. Then come 1993, and I'm saying this from memory. So if it's 1994, forgive me, but I think it was 1993 when the FNM interfered with the Education Act. And in my opinion, they really didn't do anything better than the UBP. In fact, I was annoyed that they interfered with it. I think Carl Bettel at some point might have been Minister of Education or had dabbled in it as well. But the point that I'm making is, here today, in these hard economic times where the FNM has promised us that we're going to have a free University of the Bahamas, poor black people are being charged to register their children contrary to law. It's against the law. And we've seen where the PLP also did it when they won power in between 2012 2017. And you would recall that I first coined the word hog heart when I took the hog heart and licked the then Minister of Education. What is the name of the man who's responsible for the Ministry of Works?
That's Desmond Bannister. Desmond Bannister.
He was Minister of Education. And I tried to appeal to him when they refused to allow a Negro girl from Black Village to enroll in primary school because her ma didn't have $100. Little girl, ready to enter school. Ma live in Black Village, live opposite my house. And she come to me and she said, listen, the FNM wouldn't let my child come to school. I said, what you mean by that? She said, they say I need to have $100. And I had to curse out Desmond, curse out the principal, just curse out and carry on bad before God touched their Negro hearts and they allowed the little girl into school. Why are we doing the same thing? Why are we breaking the law? We talk about all the crime taking place in the country. Some are shooting gun, some are murdering, and the FNM is encouraging principals in the various government schools to charge unlawfully. You hear what I tell you? Unlawfully a registration fee. And that's why I tell you the country is against the country. Because if you know that the law does not permit it, and you want charge school fees, then go into the House of Assembly and pass legislation. So here at Anatole Rogers is a Negro female child who is currently attending the school. So why should her mother be compelled to pay another fee to register the child? My spiritual advisor, what do you think?
Yeah, that's kind of difficult. That's hard. That's hard on the
And it's unlawful.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making. It's against the law. So if
That's
the
difficult.
government wants to charge school fees, then legislation, ruled by law. So we are faced with this every year where the complaint, and particularly this period of time when it's the people's side, if you are advocating universal education, if you're saying that the University of the Bahamas should be free, certainly primary school should be free. Junior high school should be free. And there's no legislation to allow the Ministry of Education to charge fees. And there we have a former deacon of the Catholic Church, an attorney at law. What's his name? The Minister of Education. You can't call his name? Well, you see, Jeff, I don't want no contract. The only thing I want is free medicine because I don't want to die. But y'all can keep you in a contract because I ain't want none. All right? Well, I'm a free man. I can say that. I don't want their contract. They own the country. God give it to them. So I don't want their contract. But Jeff, something is wrong. All right? And when the woman was complaining to me, I didn't want to hide her feelings. Such a charming woman who disarmed me. Because as she approached me, she said, I am one of the woman them. And I dropped my guard. Now I have my guard up. Woman, I'm sorry. Fax your MP. Call your MP. Call Dion Sanders. You live in his constituency. You vote for him, right? I told you all come with me on the beach. You all say I was crazy. Now you vote for Dion Sanders. And he can't get the Minister of Education to follow the law. We're in trouble in this country. Huh? How are we going to advance our people, right? In communist Cuba, they ain't got the kind of American money we got here. And in communist Cuba, education is universal.
Is it Deion Sanders or is it Don Sanders?
What is his name?
Don.
Well, Don. All right, Donald.
Don, yeah.
He's a twin.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right?
But you said Dion.
Well, you know, I all now. And so to the woman who complained about Donald Sanders. He's a twin. So make sure when you see him, you complain. And since they look alike, complain to the other twin. Fax the other twin. And just say to him, listen, you're his twin. And your brother wouldn't get Deacon Jeff Lloyd.
The twin doesn't live in the Bahamas, though.
How you mean don't live in the Bahamas? And I saw him the other day.
Where you saw him?
Oh, that was Dawn. I got twin.
The twin
all
doesn't
right?
live here.
But it's a disgrace, man. Man, I'm tired of y'all Negroes. Nobody want to obey the law. All right? Nobody want to obey the law. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Yeah. Good day, Mr. Monker. Could you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, that's good. I had a suggestion for the NIB for those retirees who would retire from this public service, but then they wouldn't get their pension from the department that they retired from right away. They would have to wait like a year or so.
What is your
So I
suggestion?
was saying it would make sense that NIB, seeing that they collect like $100 or more per month in contributions from basically every Bahamian that's over 18, or who have a job. But what I get into is that it would make sense for NIB to pay those persons when they retire, and then get the let those departments that the persons retire from pay them back, pay NIB back the pension money. This ain't the 65-year-old payment I'm talking about. This the actual pension.
Let me make a suggestion to you because your idea is extremely interesting. My name is Rodney Monker, so my email is rodneymonker@gmail.com. Do me a favor, put them little ideas on paper. You don't have to be very complex because, you know, I'm not a complex man. And send them to me. Let me study them because guess what? One of my great friends is responsible. And he has not paid the pregnant woman, the woman who just had the baby in San Salvador. All right? But send me the ideas. You take good care.
All right. Thank you so much. I will.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March. Speak to me. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monker, spiritual advisor.
Yes,
Hi.
ma'am.
How are you all today?
Great.
Okay, Mr. Monker, my grandmother was a person who always said, oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive.
Wow, that is almost
Now,
similar.
I
Hold on a
am
second.
looking at
Hold on a second.
document.
Hold on a second.
Uh-huh.
That is almost similar to Dr. Minnesota.
Oh, no, well.
The only difference is he called his own a quagmire of deceit. Go ahead, make your point.
Oh, no, okay. There's something that's circulating now all over the internet and everywhere this afternoon.
What is that?
A piece of correspondence that came out from the Royal Bahamas Police Force. And if this is correct, it's a letter today talking about the demotion of the two officers who were involved in the incident some time back.
They have been
But
demoted.
interestingly enough, Mr. Monker, the letter is signed by the commissioner, and it is dated today's date.
Now, when you say the commissioner, what do you mean?
Commissioner of
No,
Police.
it is signed by Ellison E. Greenslade.
Okay. And he
and
is
his
the
signature Commissioner of Police.
and he
But
is
it's interesting that a piece of correspondence could be issued that he has signed, but yet still we cannot see the commissioner publicly. What is really going on in this country, Mr. Moncur?
well. I had a woman call me from Eleuthera. She is a Cat Island woman,
Uh-huh.
and she appears to be the only person who is in contact.
Uh-huh.
She's told me where he can be found, but I've decided I'll keep it a secret just in case he's hiding from the FNM. You see?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But your
But
point is well taken.
You know, it's
Obviously,
interesting that this isn't signed by the Assistant Commissioner, Mr. Ferguson.
Okay.
It is signed by the Commissioner. It's dated today's date.
well, he, as far as we are aware, he is the commissioner
Yes.
of police. He is protected by the Constitution.
Uh-huh.
And when the FNM attempted to manhandle him,
Mm-hmm.
a PLP victory in 2012 showed the PLP reconfirming his
Mm-hmm.
constitutional position. All right? So, I don't know what's going on.
Mr. Moncur, that's why, you know, they need to stop playing games. It's really just playing games with the people, you know?
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyhow,
pray
the
for
session
them.
will be soon here.
Yeah. You can march?
Of course, I told you yesterday, as sure as the Pope is Catholic, I will be
Hallelujah.
marching with you.
And bring plenty people, eh?
Oh,
Encourage
yeah.
the people
I
there.
have Cat Island roots, you know, so you know I'm going to be there.
Yeah, this is powerful. Take good care, my sister.
Thank you. God bless you. God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marker.
Afternoon, sir.
I'm spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Mr. Marker, I'm trying to give you a little briefing on this Simon on the front porch.
Simon on the front porch. Can you
Yeah, what actually
identify him?
happened? Apostle Peter, before he was apostle, his name was Simon.
Oh,
So the
hallelujah.
Simon
person
Peter,
that
yeah.
you're looking for, his name is Peter, but they're using Simon in their letters, you see.
Okay.
So you know anybody who
Who named Peter?
was Peter,
I know a Peter. Peter the pumpkin eater.
who works for the garden or normally write like who's a scribe?
Listen, I have an idea who Simon is, a Negro woman called providing certain information. I have people investigating to confirm if that is him, okay?
Yeah.
And then after that is done, we'll put him in the ad, the newspaper, so everybody can know who Simon is. All right?
One more other thing.
Go ahead, sir.
I heard on the radio talk show this morning that there wouldn't be no carnival next year.
Really?
They complain. Some people complain that the girls them half dress and
Half dressed.
winding up themselves and things. But
Wow.
I mean, I can't see that. The Punch paper come out twice weekly.
And the punch
And
is
you
also
see
sinful.
page 3.
I
Nobody
saw-
complain about that.
I saw a woman in one of the local church choir in the front, in the punch. And after I saw her, I declared that nobody in that church was saved. Anyway, you take good care.
Yeah,
I
thank you very
want
much.
carnival.
But check on that Peter.
Okay, I want
And just use
carnival
that
because
Simon.
I
You know,
hope.
Simon is Peter. But before he was apostle, he
Okay,
was Simon, so they used in their real name, Peter.
okay.
Uh-huh.
I
Okay,
thank you, eh?
Okay.
Do I have any more calls? No more calls? That's good. My spiritual advisor, get ready for text.
Okay.
Folks, you would recall that when Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis announced his boards, I was able to establish that he was consulting with the dead. Well, there are not more breaking news taking place because I've now brought in the police unofficially to assist me in looking at the board because I know there are some scallywags. Do you know, pursuant to a court order, ministers have people on the board? Yeah. I asked the Prime Minister one more time, if you know that the court has ordered that me and the spiritual advisor should remain 100 feet apart because the spiritual advisor might attack me. Why would you put me on the same board? Why would you do that? I call on you one more time. look at the board. I ain't gonna say no more, People in which the court don't want close. The prime minister, by his appointments, should not bring them close. That's all I can say for now, because I'm constantly studying. Now, I found some people who are decent on the board. But my God, ministers, domestic violence is wrong. Domestic violence is wrong. I'm opposed to women being beaten. Okay? And you should join me, Prime Minister, in condemning domestic violence by ensuring that those who have sinned, to the extent that a court has decided you shouldn't be in contempt of court, I submit that any prime minister who puts on a board people who the court is afraid that they will continue to live like cat and dog and fight, the prime minister is wrong. To the woman them, condemn the prime minister. And I thank the woman them for these beautiful bow ties. I arrived at my office and my wife passed me the ties and I said, well, thank you. She said, no, it's not from me. I said, well, who is it from? She said, it's from the woman there. So I thank you. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
So,
Yes.
what's
Am
on
I
your mind?
on live?
Yes, you're live. Can't you
Rodney,
hear me?
what's happening, man?
Man, I'm fine, but I'm angry.
Spiritual advisor, what's up?
Hey, everything okay?
Look, yeah, my concern is today, I don't like how they dismissed Miss Hill from BPL.
Really?
Why, Rodney, that woman was a nice woman. That woman helped most of the employees. I mean, the morale is very low in BC right now. Very low.
Where she was when all those money was stolen?
Let me tell you something. That didn't come under her. Okay, as a matter of fact, the investigation is still going on.
So the thieving didn't take place under Miss Hill?
Well, actually, well, it was under her watch because she's the CEO. But guess what? The investigation is still going on. And right now, the junior staff is dismissed. The executive is still in place. So, like I say, the union will be dealing with that shortly when Pablo come back.
What y'all
from
plan
surgery,
to
so
do?
we'll see where we go from there.
What y'all plan to do?
Well, you will see. Stay. I'm watching.
Well, I only want to say, are you a part of the organization?
I am.
Okay, I wish to give you one instruction. The
Go
lights in the holy city of Black Village is not to be turned off. Okay?
Well, Rodney, if everyone money are paid, if everyone liability is paid, they won't be affected.
Okay. But
All right.
you heard what I just say. The lights
I heard you.
in the holy city of Black Village is never to be turned off.
Well, since you are a part of Black Village, we'll keep you in mind.
Hallelujah. I thank you
Okay.
very much. But go quickly and do what y'all propose to do. And if you do a good job, join me on the 2nd of September for this great camp meeting. On
Okay,
the
no
Sudden
problem.
Recreation Ground. Will you march with us for freedom?
Well, Rodney, to be honest with you, I'm not going to promise you that, but then I'll keep you in my prayers.
Keep me in your prayer,
Yeah.
and I shall reflect on your strategy.
God save the Queen.
Strike hard and with all your might. Do well, comrade.
Okay, God save the Queen.
God save the Queen, my brother.
Okay.
The Negro people in the union are organizing.
Wow.
I have to constantly say to them, now listen, don't touch the lights in Black Village. All right? But they are very upset. They have told me some confidential things.
Thanks.
They've told me who they think are the crooks and who they think are not the crooks. So they told me
So
all
they're
kind of
not
things.
satisfied that lights out was on this hill.
No, they're not satisfied.
Okay.
So, I should not
Okay,
get
well, let's
in
see
their
what
business.
happens. Okay, well, yeah. Leave it for the union.
I need a good demonstration. And you're going to have to tell that caller to hold on because we soon go to a break. How that sound? Tell the caller, hold on. Because the union has something in store for the F&M. Strike the party with all your might and do it quickly. This is
What are you
Freedom
advising them?
March. The union is getting ready to strike the F&M in its most vital parts. I'll be right back after the break.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm joined in studio by my spiritual advisor, who over the last 48 hours has not been saying too much. Listen, trust in the Lord.
Of course,
And whatever
Mr.
the
Monker.
F&M has in store for you, you will get. Okay? No matter what, Jeff.
But you know, they've been telling me some things, man.
Listen to me.
Listen,
No matter
man.
what Jeff promised you, don't bend down. You hear me? If he promised you a contract, don't bend down. Don't bend down, my spiritual advisor. Today, there are two wonderful ladies that I'd like to wish a happy birthday. Linda Riley. I almost forgot your name. And you are one of the woman them. Linda Riley, happy birthday, and may God bless you. And then, in the Northern Bahamas, in Abaco, in the Northern Bahamas, we have Geraldine Beneby.
Geraldine, happy birthday. We gotta
it's
sing.
powerful. And then, of course, I want to do a shout out to a wonderful woman I met at the PMH, Lucinda Harrison Wells. All right? My spiritual advisor, are we going to sing happy birthday?
No,
to
I
the
can't
woman
sing,
there?
but
I'll sing.
special happy birthday to Geraldine Beneby, but I can't sing.
Linda Riley and Geraldine Beneby. There was one gift that I always prayed to be blessed, and that is to sing. I could dance, but I can't sing, but I'll try. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Geraldine.
And Linda Riley.
Happy birthday to you.
Listen, enjoy
Can I
your
sing?
day, okay? Y'all are wonderful.
I better don't quit my
ladies.
day job.
I had somebody on the phone, right? Let me have the person. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Are you there? Hello? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Mr. Monka, salutations and greetings to you and your spiritual advisor.
Good evening. Good
Salutations,
evening. Good evening.
my brother.
I listen to your show on a regular basis, among others, because I want to gain a different perspective about issues in the Bahamas. But I think you need to be updated about BVTI. BVTI is not being operated to the advantage of Bahamians.
Wow.
You need almost $200 to register to go there. When it first
Disgraceful.
started, during the PLP coming to power in 1967, I don't remember the date that it came into being. They used to pay Bahamian students to come there.
Well, Penland used to pay you.
Well, the problem is now matter of fact, people are saying it's now the College of the Bahamas. It's being run like a tertiary institution.
Oh.
It's no longer a technical institution.
It's
because you have
BTVI.
to pay for each course, and you have to pay almost $200 just to register to go there.
Well, you have to march. Come
Pardon
join
me?
us. Come join the Freedom March on
Well,
Saturday.
I called the Ministry of Education. I don't know if Mr. Jeff Lloyd is aware of it, but I was told that BVTI is now privatized.
Man, don't talk
BTVI.
no nonsense. They privatize it?
They were told me that it's 75% privatized.
My God, the FNM ain't no
It
good,
shouldn't
eh?
have happened. I don't know under what administration
I
it
have to
happened,
investigate.
but it should not have happened.
It only could have happened under the FNM.
You know,
I can't
this
believe
is
the
one
PNP could
institution
commit
that
that.
would have educated Bahamians in the
Yes.
skills of carpentry,
Yep,
masonry,
I said that.
electronics, to
Yes,
assist with
absolutely.
the unemployment in the Bahamas. And it's out of reach of
You
the
are
average
correct.
Bahamian student now who can't afford to go to the University of the Bahamas.
Let's take political action. Join us on
Well,
Saturday, September
I
the
want you to
2nd.
call out the Minister of Education because something needs to be done.
Jeff has a hog
How
hat.
could that happen under the watchful eyes of Bahamians?
My God. My brother, it's time to march.
If you don't believe me, you can call and they'll tell you that there are new rules at BVTI.
The last time I visited, the FNM had one woman. I wonder if it was the former minister, Teresa Moxie Ingram. And when I went there to enroll my wife. And me and her had an argument over the book cost. And I told her, give me the prices. And I wrote them down, and I went to Papa. And I said, Papa, Teresa Moxie Ingram has a hog hat. Right? And I think Papa had to whip her in line. And I ain't gone back there since. These people don't love us. They don't love black people. They don't want us to be educated and therefore learn a trade that we can be independent. It's time to march. Will you
Well,
come?
something needs to be done, and I need your assistance because people are listening to you, Mr. Monco.
Oh, praise the Lord. Let's march. Let's call Jeff Lloyd out. I was always
Thank you very
suspicious.
much.
Take good care.
Appreciate it, sir.
God save the Queen. Join us in this great march. Now, I have 2 tickets that I'd like to give out. And it is for Candice Gibson Educational Fund. It's a cookout. And you get fish, chicken, or steak, served with crab and rice, macaroni, tossed salad, and corn on the cob. And it's for Saturday, the 26th of August, 2017, between 12 noon and 6 p.m. It's at Aram Bailey Park. The ticket costs $12. They can have gower duff, conch fritters, soda, and water will also be on sale. So I have 2 tickets. And the first person who called the show and answered this question, on what date will win the 2 tickets? No text. Don't send me no text. Phone call. On what date did the late Sir Clement Maynard march outside the magistrate court located on Parliament Street? Call me with the answer and you get these 2 tickets. Okay? What date did the late Sir Clement Maynard march and demonstrated outside the magistrate court on Parliament Street? Hang up the phone and let the people them call. While I'm waiting for call, spiritual advice, I'll read some text.
I got some text I can read. Let me just grab them quickly here. Which ones? Here we go. Hello, spiritual advisor, Mr. Monker. I'm enjoying your show. My name is Terry Sanders. I'm at work. April and shoe store, and I am one of the women them, and I'm ready to march September the 2nd.
This is powerful.
Me and Stacy Butler.
Bring everybody. Bring mama. And all them old people who say they support me, I want y'all to come. When y'all get tired, I'll put y'all in the back of the truck.
Good afternoon, Senator and spiritual advisor. I must say to our women them leader that you are looking really debonair in that butterfly bow tie today. And of course, real men wear pink. Are you on pink? Wow. Please continue to hold the present government. You wearing pink.
This pink?
Yeah. Please
Okay.
please continue to hold the present government feet to the fire. More people are listening to you than you're aware of.
Wow. God
Like
is
me,
good.
I can't wait for 4 p.m. I'm one of the women there, and I salute you, Mr. Monker.
I thank you, my sister.
Mr. Monker is wrong for suggesting that people go to Bay Rock to find the DPM. He just was cursing out we march for saying they marched on Christie's residence.
I didn't ask the Negro people to march on his residence. This man, he has complained to me. He's an FNM. Yeah, he's FNM, but I told them to go to the beach, so don't want nobody complaining to me. All right? Peter's hiding from the man. Can you imagine the Minister of Finance is ducking them poor people in Grand Bahama? So I promise him, I'll locate where he is. He's after them. When you get there, you just say to the police, it's the people's time.
Mr. Monka, can you turn the volume up, please? Mr. Monka, we're going to march with you. What
This is
volume?
powerful. I have a phone call, my spiritual advisor. Hello, do you have the answer? Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello,
Sir, did you call me?
how you doing?
I'm fine. Are you going to answer this question for me? When did the late Sir Clement Maynard march
I
outside the
can't
court?
hear you.
When did the late Sir Clement Maynard march outside the magistrate court?
Oh, I'll be honest with you, Mr. Monka, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But I was calling for two other reasons,
Go
if I
ahead.
may say.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I wanted to wish Perry Gladstone Christie, a belated birthday. I didn't get to call in yesterday to wish him a happy birthday. And I also wanted to apologize to the nurses at Mail Medical 2 for my inconvenience. And I also want to send a shout out to the Kidney Center, Miss Mitchell, Nurse Mitchell. And I want to thank you for the job that you're doing, you and SA.
Well, we thank you for your kindness.
Absolutely.
You do well, my Negro brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Read text. Anybody can answer me and tell me when did Sir Clement Maynard march outside the magistrate's court?
Mr. Monka, you could hide and march as much as you want. Dame Joan has that belt buckle waiting for you, and no family member can help you.
Next.
Mr. Monka, when will you invite Philip Miller, former PS of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to your show? I think that'd be a very good, interesting show.
Next.
Here we go. 74 messages.
Just read messages,
hold
my
on.
spiritual
I have
advisor.
to
The
do
people that message got to be answered. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's the people's time.
Hang on. I'm trying to get.
So since
Okay,
somebody...
good day. Good day, spiritual advisor, Mr. Monka. I would like for you to acquire a copy of the act that governs the nursing homes, assisted living facilities. These facilities need to be properly regulated, and if they cannot be maintained, if they cannot maintain the well-being of the facilities, then they ought to cease.
Well,
Did you understand that text?
Let me answer that person. These homes for the elderly, they have come about because many of our citizens have refused, for whatever reason, to take care of their elderly parents. All right? I could give you an example, but there are too many people that I would upset. So I can't give you the example. All right? They play a vital role. 21 days ago today, a senior citizen who operated a wonderful one, she called me to meet with me. And she called me this morning, wanting to meet again. I want to say bye to her. It's the people's time. Go look for minutes. But I can be kind to her because she's a godly woman. And what is she upset about? They want her to put books together and to be accountable and transparent. But she lacks the ability to do it. And so she's frustrated. When the government ought to recognize it, and since Carl Bettel is a smart man, they should sit down, create template, and give it to these people. Because by and large, hundreds of our citizens have neglected their relatives. Huh? Their ma take care of them, their pa take care of them, but they're now sophisticated. They don't want to care of their ma or their pa to their decent home. And then, of course, there are some of us who are angry with our parents over neglect. So it's very complicated and complex. And when we examine the government, they have not developed a genuine policy to protect and defend the elderly people. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor. Anyway, since nobody's calling me, then you send me the text. The first text. Tell me, when did the late Sir Clement Maynard demonstrated outside the magistrate court.
Boy, Mr. Monica, these ministers doing some traveling, eh? And they
Which ministers?
carrying their wives with them.
I have a phone call. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello?
Hi, Senator Monica.
My love.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Is it November 1966? Is it November 1966?
Listen, I'm going to give it to you. It wasn't November 19. It was November 22nd, 1966. So you win. Okay? Give the producer your name, and we'll write it
thank you.
on these 2 tickets. But it's actually November 22nd, 1966. All right? And come to the studio tomorrow and pick it up. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello? Great. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. What's on your mind?
How are you, sir?
Listen, I'm hungry.
That's awesome. You look so awesome. You're the spiritual advisor.
You really think I look awesome at 60? Okay? Hello?
I am one of the women them, and I'm ready to march.
How many people do you think you can encourage to come out? Are you able to hear me? Hello? She's gone.
Yes, yeah, sounds.
Okay, she's ready to march. That's powerful. Listen, bring people. Bring people. This Freedom March has to be bigger than Dr. Minnis' march.
Help.
All right? It has to be bigger. Read text, my spiritual advisor.
It says, spiritual advisor, please let Mr. Monica know that from the last school year, the schools were charging a fee, but they placed it under the guise of school supplies, PE uniform, and insurance for the students.
That is unlawful. You hear me? It is unlawful. You take that from me. It's a gangster country. Go to the mall down the road there to the east. That mall has a customer who bought in all kind of Aaron Bailey uniform, only for some Negro to say they're going to change the uniform. Now that man got all them uniform and got to try and sell it out this year because next year the uniform changes. Why? Why should the uniform change? Why? It is changing because it's always been a game where certain Ministry of Education officials or school official cuts a corrupt deal to change the uniform. So if you change the uniform, it means you got to buy cloth. You got to. That's what it is. And I'm tired of y'all people, man. Go ahead.
Mr. Monica, the passport office is holding back on people completed passport. I paid $200 for a rush passport. I called the office and they told me it was ready. But when I went there, they told me they couldn't give it to me until the 48 hours expire. I live on the island and need to get back to work. Others say they couldn't get their passports as well. Can we get some help?
Look, I have great news for you. I was talking with a Negro male who told me that under the FNM, passports are being issued swiftly, and how you don't have to pay the $200 anymore. So I want you to call the Minister of Finance, K. Peter Turnquest, and your MP and demand your $200 back. After all, what time is it?
It's the people's time.
What time is it?
It's the people's time. Good afternoon, Mr. Monica, spiritual advisor. Tell Mr. Monica, nice bow tie. Mr. Monica, why is it that we the poor people can't get no assistance from national insurance? If claims has been in for months, I would like to know what they are doing in there because they wouldn't even answer the phone. When it's time for them to take out my salary, not a problem. But when it's time to get a few dollars back, you have to go through so much, Mr. Monica.
You are right. That is why in a democracy, you have to hold a government accountable by carrying out peaceful action. So if you're upset over that, join the march on Saturday, September the 2nd. God help you when you become sick. Because one of the things that I am watching is, national health insurance. The PLP pussyfooted with it, didn't pass everything into law, and you know who the F&M is? They are the private insurance friend. And so national health insurance is being frustrated, and our people will die because they can't find the little $500 for the heart examination, the $250 for the blood works. We are in trouble. And what time it is?
It's the people's time.
Look, Dr. Dwayne Sands, I sick. And I looking for you. I sick. My fingers, them are hurting. I sick. And all I call you, you wouldn't answer. All right? You're a physician. Don't let menace get in me and your business. I'm your patient. I sick. You hear what I say, Dr. Sands? I am sick. I don't want to come outside your ministry with my placard saying, you can let me die because I'm cursing out the F&M? Come, Dr. Dwayne Sands. My daddy grandma is a Sands. You're on his family. All right? I know what's going on, but you can't let the F&M cause you to suffer and punish me. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monker, the PLP did build some homes. It's on Fire Trail Road next to Pride Estates number 3. All right, interesting.
Go ahead.
Good, S.A. No, they did.
Look.
Wow.
Since they're blaming everything on the PLP, all the homes, let's blame them on the PLP.
Well, yeah, because somebody's saying they didn't build it. Blessings, Mr. Monker and S.A. Unemployment is really killing this nation.
It's time to march.
Jobs help Bahamians live a better life and lowers crime.
Yes.
Bahamians need more training all around in different fields, such as trade, work, other than just tourism. The government needs to make us owners. Question, what is going on with Bamsey?
Well, the last time I heard, the F&M was selling little banana from Bamsey and pears and other things. So Bamsey obviously is progressing. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm back from China now.
Really?
And I'm tuning in today in Bamboo Shack, Miami Gardens.
Wow.
I asked the people what Ching Wong meant, and they told me it's a prerogative term, sometimes employed by speakers of English to mock or play on the Chinese language. Is that true?
Well, I can't tell because I was a young boy when the bigger men of the village told me that's how you call it in Chinese language. And ever since, I have always been cursing in that language.
Mr. Monica, I am a former worker of urban renewal. I applied for unemployment.
Hello?
And I yet to receive any payment. School is about to open.
TV. Okay? Keep reading, my
and children need to get prepared for school. What are you doing, Mr. Monica?
Keep reading.
This is unprofessional.
I know the F&M is no good. I will curse them out. All right. Bye-bye.
NIB, turn you around. Check this day. Check the next day.
Yeah.
It cost me,
it's
gas.
Horrible. It's horrible.
Mr. Monica, it cannot be the people's time when all this stuff is going on to frustrate you.
Let's march. Desmond Bannister, the Negro male, called me and said that you all paid him or paid the workers 1 month. These the graveyard workers. But he say there's a balance for 4 months. Desmond, do this favor for me, man. He say it ain't enough money to get his children ready for school. And all of the graveyard workers are excited that they got their 1 month pay. Desmond, man, pay them the other 4 months. Please do that for me, eh? Because what time is it?
It's the people's time.
And I promise, if he tells me that you have not paid him all the money, I can start cursing you out. And I don't want to do that. Because your mom must be upset. And I don't want her to be upset, okay? Mom, speak to Desmond. He wouldn't pay the people their money. And I don't want to curse him out because I don't want to hurt your feelings. And parents should talk to their wayward political children. And this is your son. He says the people's time. Talk to him and tell him pay the graveyard workers. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I work for the government. You have to work a year before vacation. Okay.
Well, many of them only work, I don't know if they work 6 months yet. And they had 10 weeks. After all, what time it is? It's the people's time. But let me tell you all, I am going to keep y'all accountable. Y'all around. All right? Y'all shouldn't take vacation now. All this murder. And Marvin on vacation. All this murder. You can't find the commissioner. All this murder. I don't know what's going on. My spiritual advisor
Good afternoon, Senator. There is no truth to the allegations about the Dominicans robbing persons on the Key in Aucklands.
Okay.
Local police officers, along with Defense Force Marines from Auckland, who were on vacation on the island, visited the Key and spoke with the locals on Samana Key, and persons reported that no such attack happened.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yes,
that's
very
good.
happy. I'm from Freeport. I know when we had sub-police stations, what happened to that?
That is what we need. Sub-police station all over.
Tell Mr. Monkey he didn't disclose his fruit trees.
I was not required. See, that's where Minnis got confused. Minnis thought that I had to name every fruit tree. He was wrong. The law only required me for 2016, right? So I had to go a year back, 2015, to disclose all the things that I acquired in that year. It is only if I was running for the House of Assembly that I would have had to disclose everything. And that's why I'm taking the PM to court. What a wonderful day that would be, eh?
I wish you well.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
I wish you well.
What do you mean by that? You're not trying to slander the court, eh?
I wish you well.
Huh? In the Bahamas, we have free court. The court is free. And there's nothing Minnis can do with the court, nor anything Cal Bell could do with the court. Listen, I'm going to have the leaders of We Rise tomorrow on Freedom March. So join us as I talk to a new generation of protesters. Okay? Do well. See you tomorrow if it is God's will.
Good night.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.